If you're on a 7-life path, you're what I'd call the seeker. Your primary purpose is to develop your sense of trust and openness in everything you do. Because what we're here to do is never the easiest thing for us to do, you'll experience consistent challenges in these arenas of your life. The number 7 in numerology is a highly spiritual vibration, and by that I mean that as someone on the 7-life path, yours is primarily an internal journey. Much of your growth and learning is profoundly and deeply personal. It's all about developing your individual connection to higher spiritual purpose. The funny thing about you is that, on the one hand, you are highly data-driven and analytical. You have a highly refined sense about you, and you excel in matters that require intense thought and analytical abilities. You're not called the seeker for nothing. You're always seeking your knowledge, reasons, information. You're always seeking the truth with a capital T. And then on the other hand, you are highly intuitive. I say you're super psychic, and sometimes you know this already, yet often it takes a while to integrate this aspect of yourself into that highly skeptical brain of yours. So sometimes you understand early on how intuitive you are, and then you shun that hard data left brain that also needs attention and exercise. Or you can be a brainiac, and any kind of psychic gifts you have scare the bejesus out of you, and you spend a good deal of time shutting that part of you down. So your task really is to integrate these seemingly conflicting aspects of yourself into a seamless whole. You need time to yourself. You're always processing information and thinking deeply about everything from the latest news to family issues to what might be your optimal diet and exercise program. You're digging deep to uncover how you feel and what you think about virtually everything. And as I mentioned, you need isolated time. You thrive in the outdoors and really find water relaxing. You need time in nature to feel more connected to yourself and to the world because, let's face it, there are many times in your life where you just don't feel you belong here. Do you have trouble sleeping? Because the 7-life path always has trouble sleeping. Highly active mind. Meditation is really a great way to quiet your chatty mind. And you have a tendency to become almost an outside observer at times, as if you've been hired as a reporter from another planet to collect data on human behavior. Others may see you as aloof and distant, even though you're simply processing information in your own way and in your due time. Your life's work resides in honing in that analytic brain of yours and then also developing and embracing your heightened and intuitive abilities. So when you marry these two aspects of yourself together into fluid dance partners, that is when you'll be giving the gifts that you came here to give. When your gifts for analysis and intuition come together, you hold extraordinary power and wisdom. At the end of the day, the true spirit of the 7-life path is to develop an expanded sense of trust in yourself, in a higher purpose, and in others. You're also here to be open to yourself on all levels and to be open to other people and open to engaging in the physical world in which you find yourself. The thing about the life path is this: many people are pulled into the entirely opposite direction than what their life's purpose indicates for them. And I call it the flip side of your life path, and then we can begin to cue this Darth Vader heavy breathing here, because it's like selling your soul to the dark side. It may seem like the easiest route at the time, and yet it never is, because your results will always be unhappiness, ill health, and feelings of despair that you're just not doing what you were meant to be doing, whatever the heck that might actually be. Some of the key concepts for the 7-life path are, but aren't limited to, highly intuitive, data and analysis driven, internal journey, always asking why, needs time alone and time in nature, highly refined mind. Now for the issues and stumbling blocks along the way, and I know you've been dying to hear this part, right? So given that your life path indicates what will be the most difficult to master, you'll experience many times in your life when you feel betrayed. You will get many opportunities to feel as though nothing or no one can be trusted, including yourself. Because trust is such a big issue for you, sometimes other people might find that you aren't trustworthy. The interesting thing about you and relationships is that while you want to be in a relationship with another person, you kind of don't. And so oftentimes you'll find yourself attracting people into your life who live up to your expectations of not being honest, open, or trustworthy. Then you say, see, they're all like that. Actually, once you find someone and commit to working through issues and opening yourself to vulnerability, you can be the most loyal partner and attract the same. And if you haven't found your spiritual base, you can become what I would consider a lost soul. If you don't have belief in whatever your higher power is to you, you can become a very superficial person because you're lacking the core essential you. In that same way, you can struggle with addictions, anything to detour you from your burning need for answers, from your higher purpose, from developing that deep wisdom that you're here to cultivate and then teach to others who are also seeking a spiritual path. One of your key flip side words is frustrated. When you're resisting the flow of your life, you'll be the king or queen of frustration, where nothing and no one is ever doing anything right or enough or fill in the blank here. So in the same vein, when you're working with the destructive end of your life's purpose, you can have a mighty sharp tongue. I often call it a dagger. It's really that sharp, so ouch. Be careful with that thing. And you can also suffer from depression because let's face it, you really are living a very complex journey. I found that many on the 7-Life path are faced with all kinds of obstacles and difficulties that require and demand some pretty deep soul searching, however you might formulate that. And this happens on many levels throughout your life. Your many challenges form the foundation of the wisdom you're here to learn for yourself and that you are meant to teach to others. The key for you is to embrace your sense of your higher purpose and act on that with consistency. And while you can say this about all of us, you in particular are being asked to put judgment on the shelf and see other people's life journeys as well as your own journey through a lens of wisdom and spirituality. Some of the key concepts for your flip side list might include a sharp tongue, depression, addictions, superficiality, frustration, feeling lost, feelings of betrayal. Ultimately, you have trouble trusting yourself and feeling open and trusting with others. Know that you're here to work with developing a sense, an authentic sense of trust and openness. You're a person who thrives when you use your analytic mind and your highly tuned and attuned intuition to answer some of life's hard questions. Your true gift to yourself and to the world lies in your ability to seek your truth, cultivate a sense of peace with yourself and with the world, and share your hard-won wisdom with others.